Hello and welcome back to the McGilli-Park podcast. Today is a very, very special episode because we are introducing the 2026 World Cup. My name is Liam and I'm joined with my wonderful friend Alex. Alex, if you'd like to take the introduction of the World Cup.
Yes, absolutely. So, this is the FIFA World Cup trophy, a soft toy version of the trophy. I couldn't, get the actual one. I did ask. But there are 48 nations at this year's tournament, 104 matches being played over three countries: America, Canada, and Mexico. Mexico becomes the first country to host the FIFA World Cup three times: 70, 86, and this year in 2026. Canada, their first time hosting the tournament, and America in 94, and of course again this year. There are eight nations of interest for us: the two home nations, Scotland and England; the five Commonwealth nations, Ghana, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and of course the co host Canada. And finally, the eighth nation of interest is the United States of America.
Wow.
So,
That was
yes,
did you practice that at all? That was very good.
no, I did not practice that at all. I've been very, very excited to
Obviously,
do
oh god.
this episode, really. Yeah, I've been looking forward to the tournament for a month at least.
Yeah, it's an amazing time as well because obviously I think, obviously what makes it so unique is every 4 years we have this tournament as well. And it's
Couldn't do it every year. The
no,
novelty will wear off.
exactly that. It would lose its specialness about it. And also I think it's just one of those things the whole world comes together and everything political, everything that's bad in the world gets put aside. And everyone could just focus on football as well and this beautiful sport that we have.
Yes,
Obviously, I think there's been a bit of dampener with this one in particular, just given the current state of affairs with America in general. I mean, the amount of drama that a lot of officials have had trying to get to America as well. And, have you seen it in the news as well, where they're getting over there and they're having to be searched thoroughly, and it's just holding them on. One of the referees as well couldn't even make it as well, could he?
yes. Somalia is one of the countries on the American no-no list, if you will. But it turns out that he is now refereeing the UEFA Super Cup between PSG and Aston Villa,
Okay.
which is great for him. That news came out yesterday. Yeah, it has been an odd build-up. It has
Yeah.
been a controversial build-up. What with visas, I know the South Africans had problem with their paperwork as well. The Iranians, of course, and unfortunately, we don't normally mention politics, but this is the first time a World Cup has been marred by the fact that a host nation is at war with one of the participating countries. And there's obviously America and Iran, but those two back in France, 1998, were actually in the same group under a similar backdrop. Now, they weren't at war back then, but there was threat of war, with their stance on each other. But it turned out to be one of the most friendliest games of the tournament.
I think
So, and that's how much this tournament can bring people together. We saw last night with Mexico and South Africa and Korea and Czech Republic. I think that group is some of the group of the dark horses of the tournament.
yeah,
I
definitely.
really do.
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Korea
yeah.
is managed by um, one of the heroes of 2002, their journey and when they were co-hosting it in Korea and Japan, they are managed by one of the heroes of 2002 who got to the semi-finals, um, and he was the player to knock out the Spanish with a team with Mendieta in it back in 2002. I mean, that Spanish team had some, Raul and
Yeah, I know some top ballers.
Mendieta and
Um,
some top footballers then.
I think it's one of those, just going back to what you're saying about the political side. Obviously, with this podcast in particular, we don't usually mention political views at all. I think it's just kind of hard to ignore, as you say yourself, where you've got two of the countries who are at war with each other as well. And I think I think the whole thing is just a very, very sad thing because this has sort of been looming over it. And then especially the whole thing with the visas, as you say, as well. I remember it kind of reminds me back with Qatar because we sort of expected there to be a lot of controversy and drama going into that one, similar to what's happening now. But I don't think it was ever like this. There just seems to be a bit of a weird cloud over it. But in
Well, we've
terms of, oh, sorry, go on.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. I mean, we've kind of had it with the past three. We've kind of
Mhm.
had it with Russia. We've had it with Qatar, and now we've
God,
had
yeah,
it
Russia. Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the American aspect of the three co-hosts. Also, as well, between America and Canada with the
Yeah.
tariff situation as well. And you know, idle threats of Canada becoming the 51st state of America. Now, I'm not sure what Charlie Boy would think of that, His Majesty the King, because obviously Canada is a Commonwealth country, and I'm sure he'd have quite a bit to say when he had his state visit over there recently. But
I
as I say,
saw, I remember
that's
it.
yes,
And
and
I'm
but
really
yeah, it
hoping
is. It seems like no World Cup these days ever squeaky clean. You've got to, the bad.
you got
There's
to try and look
foot.
more at the good than the bad, and
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I'm really hoping that in this World Cup we don't look at this. I mean, look, I'm not saying that these things aren't happening, are not important. I'm not trying to invalidate any of them, but I do just hope that we can focus on what we love. Like the World Cup is probably the best tournament there is in football, the biggest thing you can win. The whole world is watching, and I just hope. And I know it's hard given the current predicament in America, and that's a whole different thing in itself. But I just think this is, but the best tournament to be in. If you're a footballer, this is what you want to be playing in.
well,
Whether you make it far or not, you want to be involved in it.
yeah.
And I just hope that that is focused on more, like for example, with Mexico, South Africa yesterday, and obviously with South Korea, and the Czech Republic. You know, those are what we need to be focusing on. But I think it was just important to mention it on this podcast, particularly given what's been happening in the world with the state affairs and the president as well. So it's just, yeah,
I
hopefully
mean,
football's more the focus.
yes, and it will be. I mean, I'm sure all the bad will be forgotten about in the not pushed aside or whatever, but it will all be forgotten about for the next 6 weeks. But
Mhm.
aside from all that, this is one of the greatest sporting events in the world. It's
Isn't
like
it
the Winter
just?
Olympics. It's like what the Winter Olympics, the Summer Olympics, the Grand National and horse racing, an Ashes series in cricket.
I just wish England were playing sooner. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
but I am cheering on the home nations and obviously the Commonwealth nations as well. So we've
Mhm.
got the second of those tonight. Canada. I think Canada might do it. Home advantage is key. I
Mhm.
think the Canadians have got a chance. Now, there are third place teams. There are going to be the eight third place teams that will qualify for the round of 32. So this is like later on in the group stages. That's when you need your calculators. Um, I've sort of in my head, and I don't know if you can see the wall charts behind me,
Mhm.
um, plotted England's route or sort of England's route. England could either play one of the co-hosts, United States, Australia, who is also in America's group, or Scotland in the round of 32. But I'm kind of hoping that both home nations don't meet each other too soon. And again, going back to sort of domestic affairs, if you will, England and Scotland will be representing the British Isles. After all, we are four nations as one.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, so we'll be doing the whole of the United Kingdom proud, um, England and Scotland. So let's yes, hopefully.
How do you feel like, I mean, with England, with their chances, how do you feel that we'll do this World Cup? How far do we make it?
Well, Tuchel has already dampened down a few things in his press conference. I mean, I know what we're all like. He'll, as soon as we win our first group game, if we win our first group game
You,
handsomely,
Alex, you.
Yes, everyone's like, "Oh, it's coming home! It's coming home!" Right, everybody, just calm down. It's the first group game. It's only 4-0 against Croatia. We've got another 100 and goodness knows how many matches to go. Um, as soon as England win their first game, everyone's like, "It's coming home already." No, it's not. Just.
I'm a
So
bit
I
more.
think
Do you know what? When it's England, I get overexcited. I don't do it about my own team, but I do with England. Yeah, yeah, because I honestly believe we have one of the best teams there. I don't necessarily agree with all the picks that we've had this one, but I do think we should at least make. I would hope for the semis. That's my
I
hope.
I think we
What
can
seems
win
more
it.
realistic.
Yeah, I think we can win it.
Mm.
Um, but I think Tuchel has dampened down the over expectation,
Mhm.
which has probably been a curse for past England teams, in the sense that, I mean, they were on about this in the coverage on the television last night, between Mexico and South Africa on opening night, and they were saying, what happened in 1966 should always be revered in, or any achievement that England do in any sport. Our recent World Cup win in any sport was 2019 in the cricket. And then obviously 2003 in the Rugby World Cup, defeating the Aussies in extra time. Our Australian viewers may not necessarily thank me for that. Johnny Wilkinson's drop goal in 2003. But here is a thing. One of the winners from that Rugby World Cup in 2003,
Mhm.
his dad or grandfather played in the 1966 England winning team.
And that's interesting to know.
Ben Cohen was his
Ben
name, who
Cohen.
won in 2003. George Cohen was part of the 1966 World Cup winning team. So there
Oh
is,
my God, yeah, I didn't know
yeah.
that. You love these little things, connections,
I
don't you?
love these little facts. I do. I love them.
A walking football encyclopedia, mate.
But
I love
yeah,
it.
but it's, for England to win the Football World Cup would be an absolute dream come true. We can be inspired by the Lionesses as well, who's double
Yeah,
European
we can.
champions. They got to a final against the Spanish in 2023.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I think we can take a leaf out the girls' book and,
definitely.
lower expectations. But I think Tuchel's the man to guide us
Yeah,
to
and
that. I
do you know
really do.
what? Given that he's England's selection as well with Tuchel, I feel like it's going to be one of them where he's going to be coming out as a hero for who he's picked, and I respect it in a way. And I was thinking when I first saw the England picks, because I personally would have included Morgan Gibbs White, I wouldn't have put Jordan Henderson in the team. I still probably would have included Foden, and I just feel like missing them is a bit of a big one for me. There's a few more
Mm.
as well, but my point is that what I like about him was even at the time I was a bit angry, but later on when reflecting, I like the fact that he's not scared to go against the norm. Like he's left
Yeah.
Trent out as well, and he's not afraid to say, I don't care who you play for, if you're
And
not
he's
good enough.
also left Maguire out as well. Now,
Which I think
how?
is a big miss as well, just to say,
Yeah, that
which
is
is
a
a big
huge
one.
miss.
And
Yeah,
this is the other thing as well, where he could be a hero and be told he's a genius, or he's going to be the most wanted man in England. Do you know what I
but
mean? If we do bad.
how? Well, I mean, it's like any manager or captain for your country or your continent. You're either seen as a hero or a villain. How I see Tuchel's selection for the squad is how I see how a Ryder Cup or a Solheim Cup team is picked in golf.
Mhm.
They pick the form players and they build the chemistry that way.
Yeah.
And, I know everyone will go, "Oh, you should have picked him for the team. You should have picked him for the team." But he's based it purely on form
Mhm.
and what they've done during the season. Not many England managers in the past, when we've gone to major tournaments, have done that.
I
They've
still
always
think
they've
I
always picked. I mean, I still think some of the experience should be
yeah,
there.
I think you're right in terms of that, but it's just I still think you can't miss the likes of Morgan Gibbs White, who finished the season so well. I get why you'd leave
Yeah,
Jared Bowen out because the last few games he's just gone missing, but I still think Harry Maguire, I think he had a very good season with United. You'll know more about Man United in terms of how he finished the season more than I would, but from what I can understand is he finished quite well.
yeah.
To leave those players out, I do think it's a big risky game. But if it does work, and listen, if those players play better like that then a player I wouldn't necessarily. I'm all for it by all means. If he thinks that, so I'm all for it because I'm supporting the manager. But if it goes wrong, he's gonna lose his job like that. I think.
It, it is an experiment, but I think Tuchel. I saw when Tuchel in the past has done it with Dortmund, Chelsea. I think he managed PSG as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has, hasn't he? But he has never been afraid to take risks. And okay, it is a bit of a risk at times, leaving some of the household names, if you will, of an England team. But I think half of that team, half the squad there, he's doing it the German way. I think he's making a name. He's going to help them make a name for themselves at this tournament
Mhm.
where there is no expectation, there is no baggage, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think he's tried and lessened the expectation of everybody here by picking some of these names that you think, oh no, I'm not sure about him. I'm not sure about him. We all know what they can do. Most of them are obviously in the Premier League, but yeah, they're gonna make make a name for themselves, these boys.
Mhm.
And I really, really hope that this thing at the side of me comes home this year.
I love that. I love that. And fingers crossed. Moving on really quickly. So let's talk about the game yesterday. We can't avoid it. The opening game, Mexico, South Africa, and wow. It was a great
Yeah,
listen,
it
listen.
was.
I thought
It
it
was.
was a great open. I think you couldn't have got a better one, especially with the red cards as well. We were talking
Well,
about before the video as well, and just yeah, I think we needed a bit of that. We needed a little bit of fire, a bit of drama, and
well,
also
the
to see
Mexican.
Raul Jimenez as well at his age to be scoring in his first World Cup of
Yeah,
35. Good for him as well.
yeah, but the Mexicans are going to bring the fire to this tournament. Obviously, home advantage. But here's the thing. Here is a statistic. The Azteca Stadium is a fortress for Mexico. They've
Mhm.
only lost twice in about 80 odd games.
Really?
Yes.
Gee, that's a great
So
home record.
81 games. The Azteca has hosted 25 more World Cup games than any stadium that has hosted the World Cup ever. Because obviously, as we alluded to earlier, Mexico, this is their third time hosting the big one. The Azteca, I mean, the ghosts. It's one of the world's great football stadiums. Maradona, Pele, Bobby Moore, they've all
Yeah.
graced that Azteca Stadium. And yeah, so this is yeah,
I
so that was a huge, huge Fortress Azteca for the
I thought
Mexicans.
I thought South Africa started off the better team as well. I must say, those first
They
few minutes,
did.
I thought they were going to score. Early doors, they were having shot after shot. There was a volley from what I remember as well. And I thought,
Mm.
God, this is. I genuinely thought it was going to be 1-0 in a minute. And look, fair play to Mexico. I think you could, with respect to South Africa, I think you could see the difference in quality as well, quite significantly as well. And I think there was just there was some silly challenges. I think obviously what resulted into the red cards. Obviously,
But I think
we
that
might have
was
a different opinion.
nerves.
We might have a different opinion on the slap, but I could see your point of
Oh
view
yeah,
as well.
yeah. No, I think some of the red cards were the implementation of the laws as well. Apparently, there's new laws going. Half of that went over my head. Um, but
You can only slap a play
but
if the ref don't see it. That's the
yeah,
legal.
you can
BL to the
you
blind spot.
you can understand. I think some of that was probably down to nerves as well. Um,
I think because it
but
means
yeah,
so
the
much to him as well.
Mexicans, yeah,
Because it means so much as well. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Imagine as well you've conceded later on because the first goal was a silly error from South Africa's defender, and it was such a shame, really, wasn't it? I mean, and then it went through
I
the
think
goalkeeper's
well,
legs.
yeah,
I was such a shame for him.
but I think the goalkeeper shot himself in the foot. with
Mm.
that one. I mean, there were three players.
Hmm.
There was one on the goalkeeper's left hand side, spaced down the wing.
Hmm.
I'd have passed it. Well,
Yeah.
say I'd have passed
No,
it,
I
but
completely agree with you there.
I would have.
I
I would
think
have.
both are at fault, honestly.
Yeah,
Genuine. I think it's just a
you and I
shame.
would have passed
Yeah, just
to
boot
the
it.
one that's in
Yeah,
space, and then because when South Africa went forward, they were well, they had something.
they
They were
were.
good on the attack going forward, but obviously, true to form, the Mexicans dug in, did what they had to do, and yeah, you don't count the Mexicans out of this. I think again, home advantage is key. Whoa. And particularly with that, you use that statistics with the Azteca.
Hmm.
If anybody, if anybody's going to play against the Mexicans at the Azteca Stadium, they better have their A++ game because
Yeah, they'll be up for it. Do you think they'll be like a
yeah,
dark horse for the tournament?
I think Mexico will do something.
Yeah.
Quarters at the minimum, I think
Yeah.
for the Mexicans.
You almost want those sort of countries as well to do well, don't
Oh,
you, as well? Because do you know what I mean?
God
Like,
bless them.
I feel like as we as England fans, we have this sort of high expectation. Everyone does of us because we are, we're the home nation of soccer, football. But just for any other viewers that are watching, it is football, by the way.
Well,
But
yes, soccer is an English word, by the way. It's just not used very often.
this is the wrong term, you see. No, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it's the wrong terminology.
Good day to you, sir.
Good
No.
day.
Um, but I do think there's this sort of expectation onto England as well to do well, and we're one of the bigger nations, as you say, one of the elite ones. I'd like to think anyway. But then you look
Yes.
at teams like South Africa, Korea, Czech Republic. You look at these teams, you want them to almost do well. You almost think, come on, go, go. You want them to just to have
Yeah.
that the magic of the tournament, as it were. But
But,
listen, I think you're right. I'm hoping that Mexico and other small nations do make it as far as they can. We'll see what happens. I think, as you say, when you get into those knockout rounds, that's when it's just so lethal and brutal because any slight error can cost your the country to go out.
but that leads me nicely
Mhm.
to some of the smaller nations that have never qualified.
Oh,
Curacao, they've never, ever qualified for a World Cup under the former Sunderland, Rangers, and Holland manager, Dick Advocaat. He
really?
will
What
be,
Digger is still?
yes,
I didn't know he was still going. I remember him
yeah,
at Sunderland
he's
10 years ago
he
now.
yeah, he is managing Curacao, and he will be the oldest World Cup manager um, in the tournament. Carlos Queiroz is managing Ghana, former second in command at United, and Cape Verde, which is a country off the coast of Africa, Portuguese owned nation off the coast of Africa. So though and Uzbekistan as well. So four nations that have never, or three nations, I beg your pardon. Ghana have qualified before, but three of those nations have never qualified for a World Cup. And that's the beauty about this year's tournament
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
expansion of it. Most people will be going, oh, it's done for money and this, that, the other. No, hold on a minute. You get your chance.
Hmm. It's
You
great,
get
isn't it?
your chance.
It's
And
great.
Curacao have only got the easy task of playing against the Germans over the weekend.
But surely if you, I mean, I can't speak for him, but it's not the same thing. But West Ham are in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to see. I want to see us play Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. I would want. I'd want. I wouldn't care that we'd lose and get thumped to them because it's the experience of playing against them. So what I'm saying is, would they feel that way playing against the Germans? Because Germans want the bigger ones to play. Maybe that's like the experience in itself.
I reckon the Germans might slip up against that against them.
You'd be
I
celebrating
don't
like
know what.
mad, won't you?
Well, I'm not saying the Germans will lose,
Mm.
but I reckon the Germans will slip up.
Yeah.
They'll probably draw against. And you think, hold on a minute, because you saw in 2018 Mexico and Korea beat them, and Japan and Costa Rica 4 years ago
Hmm.
gave them a good go for their money. The Japanese beat the Germans four
Yeah.
years ago. And speaking of which, they're not in the same group, but The mighty Saudi Arabia. Can they repeat their exploits from 4 years ago? I hope so.
Right, for this man, right, years ago when the last World Cup happened, we were watching it, and honestly, the way you celebrated when they beat Argentina,
It
my
was like
God,
England had just won the World Cup.
you were going
It
all right.
really was.
It was one of the first games. Was it one of the first games? I want to say, and it was
It was,
they had Messi playing,
yeah,
Di
it
Maria, like,
was,
and they just given my Argentina won it as well. It's just
yeah.
mental.
But it was shades of Italia 90 when Cameroon beat Argentina because I was watching that on YouTube. I've been watching classic matches on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Hmm.
And Cameroon beat Argentina on the opening day of Italia 90.
Hmm.
And Cameroon went down to 9 men and they still beat Argentina. But yeah, no, Saudi Arabia were, for those of you who remember it, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina 2-1. And
How can I forget?
oh yeah. So I think some of the smaller nations against the bigger elite nations, so to speak,
Hmm.
I think watch out because they'll all be remembering. Oh, hold on! Look at the Argentinians 4 years ago. They lost their opening game. So Argentina are in Group J
Hmm.
with Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. So if Algeria can take a leaf out of Saudi Arabia's book, you never know. Algeria, I think they are could potentially be one of the dark horses as well because you've got some good players. You know, you think of Mahrez as well, who's with the Algeria. Austria could have a chance against the Argentinians as well. The Austrians, I love the Austrians. I think they're brilliant.
Oh,
Um,
you know what you remind me of, mate? You're like, do you know what? Honestly, you remind me of a kid in a sweet shop. How excited you are, the big
I
smile on
am.
your face, talking
I
about
love
these
it.
games.
I love
You're one of
it.
them. Or just,
Um, but yes, Sunday morning I'll definitely wake up very early to watch the Aussies against Turkey. That could be an interesting game. Scotland, Haiti on Sunday morning or Saturday night, Sunday morning. Haiti have qualified for the first time since 1974. So that is, yeah. So they'll be doing their nation proud and a nation of upheaval at the moment. But
moving on
yeah,
to the Korea Republic 2, Czech Republic 1. Obviously, bit of a mad game, quite a physical one from what I
yes,
saw as well. Unlike yourself, I didn't watch it. I only caught the highlights.
yeah,
Well, I must say, Czech Republic's first goal, it was very, very much Harambe, very Arsenal vibe from a throw-in, and he heads it in the back of the net. Krejci,
yeah.
Krejci,
Krejcik, yeah,
yep, there we go.
captain, Czech
Yep.
captain.
There we go. It's a great header, scored, put them 1-0. And honestly, I thought they were gonna go on to go and win it basically the game. But then to be fair, I thought Korea, the way they moved the ball, they play lovely football, by the way. You know, on the floor, very fast paced. They very, very, very go exploit with the fast pace of the wingers that they've got as well. It looks like a very quick team as well and be a tough one to stop. And I think they were just physical wise, I think Czech Republic had it. I just think footballing wise, I think Korea just have that next level above them as well, in terms of
The
just footballing
Koreans,
ability.
yeah, I mean the Koreans have always had flair. I mean they've got our boy Sonny,
Hmm.
Heung-min Son, who's the most recognisable player in that Korean side. He is the poster boy. Effectively,
He
he's
looked good, you know. I didn't think he looked too bad. He had
oh
to come off though. I think maybe just for fit, like maybe just keep him fresh and everything. But he looked good. He looked a danger going forward. It would have been nice to see him score, must admit, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
give him time. He'll be Sonny will be scoring like no tomorrow. He'll be scoring with his eyes closed. But the big one for them, I think, is against the Mexicans. I mean, Mexico, Czech Republic, South Korea. It's a toss up between first to third for them. I mean, as I'm sorry to say it, I know South Africa is part of the Commonwealth and everything, but the way they played
Missing two men
later on
already
in
as
that,
well.
yeah, I mean they're fighting for it. I mean, you never know. They could theoretically get 2 points, and it'd still be enough to go through. But
Mhm.
I I think the other three teams in that group have a lot more quality, if you will.
Yeah.
Um, I'd expect Mexico to top that group,
Mhm.
but it's a toss up between second and third between Korea and Czech Republic.
No, I think I agree with you there, mate. I think you're spot on. And yeah, as I say, it'd be nice to. It'd be nice, as you say, with South Africa, it'd be nice to see them go through and, get a couple of points to get them through now, given that the tables have changed. But, we'll see anyway. I still think it's very early doors. It's only one game in, obviously, with I think we can't not talk about England's game coming up against Croatia, which is going to be such a big one. I think it's probably the hardest of the group. I do
Yeah,
fancy us to do it. I think we'll win 1-0. I'm going to go for Kane to score, and I think we'll keep the clean sheet. And also we had Panama
we
last time as well, which I think will beat them.
yeah. I mean, we had Croatia and Panama in Russia 2018. We had Panama in our group with
Tunisia,
uh, Tunisia and Belgium.
Belgium.
Belgium, that was it. Yeah, Belgium, Tunisia, and Panama were in our group then. But I think Croatia and Ghana are two tough ones. If we can get through Croatia well, then I'm not certainly not saying Ghana will be an easy game
No, I think
because
that'll be tough.
we know their exploits from past tournaments 2010, 2018. They've they can bring something again. They're dark horses as well. So they've got the whole pressure of Africa being the best perform
Hmm.
team before Morocco were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When Morocco got to the semi-finals and they took over that mantle of what Ghana did back in 2010.
What are you going for
Um,
score prediction against Croatia?
2-1 England.
Yeah, I genuinely think we'll win. Call me delusional. I think we'll. Listen. I think we're easily good enough to win that group.
But
Genuinely, I do.
I'd expect the Croatians to maybe score first because
They'll definitely
Croatia
play
have a
up.
habit of doing that.
They'll
But
definitely be up
yes,
for it.
yeah, it's also Modric's last dance as well. Let's not forget that one because
Yeah. Actually, that's a good
yeah.
point. God,
So they will be doing it for Luca, hopefully, from a Croatian standpoint.
you got to remember as well in this tournament, we're so fortunate for one last dance. We've got Messi, Ronaldo,
Ronaldo
Neymar,
and Modric
Modric.
and
Thank the
Neymar as
Lord.
well. Yeah,
Thank the
yeah.
Lord we've got these players still doing it and how long they've been doing it for as well. Do you know what I mean? And I'm listen, we're not, I think realistically fans would be a bit delusional if they were to sit there and think, oh, we're going to see, what they were like in their primes. No, we're not. But just appreciate what you are going to see because it's still going to be special, but not to the same extent as what it was, put say 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? But the fact they're still here, just enjoy them because this is the last
I'd
time we've
ex-
seen them on the world stage.
yeah, I'd expect all four to pluck things something out of the fire,
Hmm.
um, and then remind us all, that's why you're one of the best players in the world. And we must, like we said with Guardiola in one of our episodes when he left Manchester City. I will say this of those four.
I hope
Um,
I hope that he score. I hope all four of them score a goal and have that
yeah,
moment where we all go, wow,
I
like this is
I
why
would
we all fell
like
in love with football.
exactly. I mean, I would like to say thank you for giving football the joy that they may not necessarily, they've had different career trajectories.
I think it's one of them where what's even more impressive about it is how long they've been doing it for at their age, and the fact that they are still doing it now and playing at the biggest, on the biggest stage that they can. It's
Yeah.
just remarkable. I think it's very unheard of, and I'm sure there'll be others that have the same sort of career trajectory kind of thing. But in terms of charisma and aura that these players bring, I just think is very unique to the modern player. And I do hope that we get new. And listen, we do have some players already. I'd like, but maybe not Harry Kane per se, but I'm sure he's quite close to it. But I do honestly think that we got to enjoy this while they're here. Is basically what I'm
it,
saying.
it's this World Cup is like how things are in tennis as well, or a couple of years ago, where you had Federer, Nadal, Murray, Djokovic, all in their prime and their the peak of their powers with the new generation coming up. You got Lamine Yamal as well for Spain, Nico Williams, for Spain as well. You've got the Spanish contingent. You've got, you know, great up and coming young players and those veterans, if you will, who have. It's a meeting of generations. This World Cup, I think, and you'll see when them two, you know, the two generations come across each other. You'll see the changing of the guard. I mean, we're already seeing that with the Spanish now, but
Yeah.
you know,
On that note, thank you very much for watching this episode. We hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment your thoughts. How far will England make it in this tournament? I'm going semis. Alex, what are you going for?
hopefully all the way.
I
But
like
then that would be me.
We'd love we'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so please drop a comment. Goodbye from me.
All right. Thank you. Take care.